Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi!
Hello friends, today we're going to cover Sarquael, the second Dark Angels character to come to Tacticus. Sarquael is a Hellblaster Sargeant, which means that he is based off the Primaris heavy weapon squad in the Warhammer 40k universe. He wields a plasma weapon, and Snowprint have translated his tabletop character well into what we're going to preview today. In today's video, I'll show you his character overview, some footage demonstrating his active and passive abilities, before closing with my now customary character infographic. I'm pretty pleased with this infographic, which I think has elevated things, at least visually, to another level. Without further ado, let's start with Sarquael's character overview screen. As usual, I'll start these videos off with a nod to the art department, who managed to do a fantastic job with the animations for these characters, and Sarquael is no exception. He looks amazing with his plasma rifle. Thanks again to the art guys. Next, we can have a look at his traits. Sarquael has Final Vengeance, Overwatch, and the Heavy Weapon trait, none of which are new to the game. From a stats point of view, you can see his stats scaled to level 50, and he also has a Plasma and Physical Weapon attack, both doing 1 hit. His ranged attack is at 3 ranged. His active is Supercharge, where Sarquael does massive plasma damage to a target within 3 hexes, and both enemies behind the target. It also applies a 35% pierce ratio to the already 65% pierce of plasma damage. His passive is Grim Retribution, which means that every turn, if there's no enemy adjacent to Sarquael, he'll shoot back, essentially applying a second Overwatch type effect. In this clip, we can see Sarquael moving up to apply his active ability, Supercharge to Revas. Supercharge does a massive amount of plasma damage, and it also applies the Supercharge effect to the targeted character. Here we can see that the effect allows future plasma hits to do a bonus 35% damage. In this clip, we can take a look at the two Dark Angels in tandem. Here you can see Azrael does a plasma ranged attack, and currently looks to apply just shy of 700 damage onto Revas. However, if we combine Azrael with Sarquael's Supercharge active ability, we can see that 700 damage increases significantly. Sarquael applies Supercharged, and now Azrael's 700 looks to have increased to about 1150 ranged damage, and that's because of the Supercharge effect. In this clip, we're going to see how Sarquael applies Supercharge not only to the target, but to the targets behind it. So here, Sarquael takes the high ground, applies his active ability, immediately deleting Shozail, and doing pretty heavy damage to his Tau compatriots behind him. Both now have the Supercharge effect applied. In this clip, we can take a look at Sarquael's passive, Grim Retribution. Here, Darkstrider does not trigger Overwatch because of his trait, Infiltrate. However, when he tries to attack Sarquael, he does trigger Grim Retribution and is punished by a high damage attack in return. In this next clip, we see the passive ability with another Infiltrate character in action. Here, because Jane Czar is in melee, Darkstrider's ranged attack does not trigger Grim Retribution. In this infographic, you can see everything summarized for Sarquael. As usual, I'll have this to download and access both from the Panzerforest Discord and the Tacticus Wiki, both linked via the video description below. I think Sarquael's active is a lot of fun. Particularly with the bonus Pierce, he can do a massive amount of PvP damage and delete most equally geared characters in the game in a single hit. You saw how much damage he did to Revas, almost killing her in one shot despite her being in over the 80th centile for both health and armor. Still, it's a PvP skill and therefore not necessarily needed to be maxed until we have more diverse PvP modes, possibly like Guild Wars. I think Sarquael's passive is okay. It's probably fun and fine to upgrade if you're interested in using him or a Dark Angels team in PvP. However, at the moment I wouldn't invest heavily in it with the current PvP landscape. From a stats point of view, I have Tauan again to thank for pulling all of these numbers for me. These radars and analyses wouldn't be possible without him. Sarquael has a low health stat in the 26th centile, However, he does reasonably well in all other areas, scoring roughly in the 70th centile throughout. Overall, I think Sarquael is pretty cool, but probably another PvP focused character. He might see his value skyrocket if guild wars become a thing, but at the moment he doesn't look to break the guild raid meta. I have to say though, at the moment he seems super cool, and the idea of shooting an overcharged plasma weapon at a target and blowing it up sounds very fun and reminiscent of 40k tabletop days. I'd like to end the video on two notes. Firstly, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I work closely with iGap, who's a friend of mine and a guildmate. Without him and his help, I wouldn't be able to make the videos I do, so consider entering his Refer a Friend code on screen for 100 Blackstone. The Refer a Friend codes are single use, so choose carefully. Finally, if you're looking for a new guild where you can grow as a player and push yourself competitively, check out Pants of Horus, Discord link in the video description below. Thanks folks, bye for now.
Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi.